KRS-One just came in the group.
KRS, our guest of honor, welcome.
Hey, good brother.
Yeah, hello, how you guys doing?
You're doing great.
Doing
Thanks for
great.
being
How are
here,
you?
bro.
Good to see you.
Welcome.
Chris, I have a question on that. Going into when you're talking about the message that Marianne speaks. One of your videos that I watched and listened to, you talked about seeing the God in someone. And I feel like that's also the message that Marianne speaks. And so I feel like a lot of this work is about healing. She talks about healing yourself first. But how is it possible, or what is the solution, or what do you think the solution is to each individual healing themselves when there's so much that we have to kind of fight in the world to get a level playing field? Like how can you focus? And I think it's intentional. They know it's intentional to know thyself, and you talk about knowledge and wisdom, but it's hard for us to get to know our true self because we're battling so many external worldly things.
Right.
So how can we do that in the state that we're in to really flip the coin here?
You know, that's wow, you're really picking my brain right now. I would say this, and this is a freestyle. This is off the top of my head. You know, there's something about vaccinations that could be applied to social injustice as well. Meaning that, yes, there's so much chaos and disillusion and confusion around us. But if you take in a little bit of it, you might become immune to it. Meaning that okay, from a vegetarian point of view. So I'm more of a pescatarian myself. I eat fish. I try to stay away from shellfish, but the oysters and the clams just keep calling me. But I like fish. And so for 40 years of my life, I leaned toward a vegetarian diet with occasional fish. That's my diet. One day, I get sick. I'm throwing up. Vertigo. I'm like, what is going on? I just came from a trip. I get home. I'm like, what is happening? I can't keep nothing down. What's going on with me? Now I'm living about the healthiest life I think I could. What is happening to me? So something comes to me, and God forgive me for calling you something, but something comes to me and says, go to the Jamaican spot and get oxtails. Now, mind you, I don't eat oxtails, never had this, 40 years, nothing, okay? Says, yo, go to the Jamaican store and get oxtails. So I didn't go, I sent Simone. She went. Come back with the oxtails. I'm bugging out. I'm looking at, why am I doing this? But I learned to be obedient to that still small voice. I've learned this. And I've learned to move forward courageously and without judgment. This is the key. Without judgment. Because I was judging myself completely. Why am I sitting here with this oxtail? I eat the oxtails. It was the best food I ever had in my life. I love these oxtails. I ate the oxtail. Guess what? I started feeling better. It stayed down. I'm feeling good. I rested, woke up. I'm back up. I said, wait a minute. What happened? What's going on here? What happened? So I go back to my fish diet. I said, no, that was just a one fling, one little thing, and I'm done. That was it. Get to do some more research. That still small voice is leading me around. leading me to healing. But the healing was against my principles. Get this. The healing that I needed was against 40 years of my life. I do further research. I realized I might have been deficient on B12, the B complex vitamins. And I say I might have because as I'm doing research, trying to figure out how can oxtails do this for me, I find out that the body cannot live without B12, specifically the B12 vitamin. It needs all the B complexes, but specifically B12, which is found only in beef. Only in beef. So I said, for 40 years, I've been going with a B12 deficiency. Now I'm getting B12 from other things. You can get small amounts of B12 in fruits and vegetables, but nobody eats a ton of carrots to get the amount of B12 or a ton of something else to get what you can get out of a hamburger or you can get out of oxtails or you can get out of something else and this kind of thing. I thought about it. I said, wait a minute. Number one, sometimes what you think is the evil, the contradiction, the threat, is actually the cure. That the cure comes with an evil face on it. And this is what I learned, that in nature, nature's cures come looking crazy, ugly and crazy. And the thing that'll kill you comes looking beautiful and easy to touch and acquire and all of this. It's like roses come with thorns, you know, but certain poisonous plants, you can just rub up on them. Like, you're like, yo, you know, poison ivy and all this stuff. You get caught up in the jungle, not knowing what you rubbing up on. You know, you get caught out there. But the most beautiful flowers are guarded and given off certain things for predators not to eat them, and you know, this kind of thing. Nature speaks like this. So there's something about vaccination, meaning that a little racism might be good for us. The person, if told as a young man or woman, if told as a young person, you're black, you never gonna make it. Because you black, you're not gonna make it. Racist remark. You're black, and because you're black, you're not gonna make it. You're inferior to me, who has made it, because I'm white, not because of anything else, but because of my whiteness, I have made it. And because of your blackness, you're not gonna make it. That's the textbook of racism right there, okay? Because of your race, I perceive you as inferior to me. Okay. I'm trying to rationalize that in my own head. But anyway, a little bit of that might motivate you to become a PhD. Many people actually were told, a variety of people, Native Americans, Latinos, other white people, sometimes when you're put down, it lifts you up. And sometimes when you're told you're great, it brings you down. You can't live up to the greatness, so you don't do anything. Other people, if pushed down or told they're never going to be something, find the motivation to prove you wrong. I just don't believe you. I'm going to become something. Because you said that, I found the motivation to do this. A little bit of hate might be great. I'm an MC, I can't help myself. But a little bit of hate might do you some good. A little bit of racism, a little bit of theft, to feel what it's like to lose a possession that you really wanted, might add something to you. This idea, the weirdest thing about being impoverished, the Queen just said it, that we grew up poor, not even poor. We were so poor we missed the OR. We were poor, okay? I know what that's like. Oh, yes, indeed. That kind of poorness, okay? But it did instill a certain character. It instilled a certain strength as well. In fact, in philosophy, we have a saying that says, those that are happy with a little will be happy with a lot. Those that are unhappy with a little will be unhappy with a lot. And poverty teaches you this in a weird way. It's like, we were happy. We learned later that we were poor. Okay, but when we was actually 5 and 6 and 7 years old playing, imagine, they tell us now that the fire hydrants in New York City were poisonous. They had lead in them, all types of pharmaceuticals, and rats used to float in the water. This is the water we were drinking, bathing in, playing our music. This was it. But because we didn't even think, we said, what? We didn't even think about this. Like, what, a rat ass, a rat, whatever. We drinking the water, whatever, lead all in the water, okay? We drinking the water. This New York City in the 70s and the 80s, that's what it was, okay? We drinking the water. Years later, nothing. In fact, we invent hip hop. And I have a theory that says that maybe hip hop came out that hydrant because we was immersed in this chemical that we called water. But later on, they told us this thing coming out, that, it was crazy what was coming out that hydrant. But we was there. So I say this, and obviously it inoculated us. Because I'm still here. I'm fairly healthy, I guess. Mentally, I think I'm sane. And so the water didn't affect me or Method Man or anybody else that might have drank that water during those times. It didn't really affect us like this. So I say this to say that a little opposition might be good for the goddess. That how do you find peace and tranquility with all of this going on around you? And one of the answers is that you use it. You use it. Like, for instance, if there's war all around you, that war is begging for peace. It's like, if you know you are divine, and this is only advice for divine, for divinity, because an average person can't do this. If you stuck every day in that regular grade school education, you can't do this. This is for those who are on a path of self-discovery, where every day, it's not even the goal that's important, it's the path itself. The journey itself is what is the discovery. And so as you go, you realize at some point that self is always with you. It's always here. It's always here. The ultimate state of enlightenment, at least from a hip hop point of view, is self-acceptance. This is the ultimate state. Self-acceptance. Imagine at some point, the Buddha has to accept himself. At some point, the fasting ceases, the meditation ends, the breathing technique stops. At some point, you say, I'm here. Or, like most people say, or most people could feel, not even most people, most enlightened people, they feel that they never became enlightened. You never really feel enlightened, especially if you're on a path of truth. Where's the enlightenment? Every day I wake up feeling dumber. I learn something new every single day. When do you stop learning? Where is the enlightenment? Somebody can tell me something tomorrow that changes my entire view of life. That can happen tomorrow. I leave my mind open for a suggestion that I might be wrong about everything. Everything. I might be wrong. I leave the door open. Hey, convince me. Give me some evidence. Give me some proof. Give me some data. Give me something that's going to change my view. I tell you, in my brief 58 years, I haven't had anybody tell me anything different than what the observable truth has already shown. And in answering of your question, vaccination, it's a wonderful thing to live in poverty. Damn, did I say that? No, it's not wonderful to live in poverty. It makes you desperate. But if you are divine, that same poverty, you use it to get where you gotta go. And this is what I was gonna say. Actually, I was gonna say this, that you never feel like you made it. You never feel. Somebody asked me the other day, not the other day, yesterday. I was with George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic. This brother is 82 years old. Okay, he jumping around like me. And I'm like, yo, first of all, this is a good friend of mine. We know our families know each other for years. Actually, those that know my music, I recorded Jack of Spade at George Clinton's house back in the 90s. That's how far back we go. And the last time we met was in Germany. We was in Germany together. Both of us had shows. We met, we talked. His family it was wonderful. We didn't see each other for like another 6 or 7 years, like 7 years ago. We just saw each other last night, and we were getting awards. And it was Attorney Benjamin Crump who was giving us these awards. So Attorney Benjamin Crump is giving us these awards thing. And this is the thing. This is the deal right here. That you would think that somebody like George Clinton, like I don't know if he wrote a book or not, but his story must be crazy. I mean, everything. He's 82. He did everything. Okay, everything. This is a master right here. And you would think to yourself that he would be down and sad or whatever, in that sense. And here he is living his life. And I tell you how I know he's living his life. Because he's interpreting everything that's coming to him. It's one of the kindergarten lessons of metaphysics, where you learn that the observer and the observed is the same thing. That the observer is actually, what they say, collapsing the waveform. In other words, what you are looking at, you're making what it is that's in your sight. It doesn't matter what's happening to you. It's your interpretation of what's happening to you. All of these little sayings point directly to the vaccination, to the idea that what's wrong, what could possibly be a threat if you can perceive any event the way you want it to, the way you want to perceive it. So there is no threat. It's a change of your mind. Not even a change. It's a maturity of mind where you say, I'm now this. I'm going to conduct myself like this. Everything coming to me is good. Everything coming to me is good. I perceive it that way. I'm going to attract that. I'm going to do everything in my power to attract good to me. So even when something that appears evil, something that appears non-productive comes my way, I'm still going to perceive it as good. Now, some people might say, you living in a dream world, okay? They stole your car, okay, with your computer in it. And you needed that for next week. How is that good? This is the part where you really have to put your foot on the path of light and say, am I really living a spiritual life, or am I living a material, worldly life? And the spirit will test you just like this. But I'm here to let you know that if you stay steadfast to the path you said you're on, you get everything. Whatever's taken from you, you get it back tenfold. Whenever you get sick, it's because you're getting healthier. Whenever you get, it's amazing, okay? It's amazing. These techniques are not entertainment. This is life, science of life. And the science of life clearly shows you, first, life is what you make it. Sick. Now, how you gonna make it? I see everyone as good. I see everything as my good. Now, in one breath, you're bugging. Everything ain't good. And everybody ain't good, okay? We're not looking at that. But wait, we're going to take a little bit of that, not the extreme. We're not going to swallow the whole thing. Can you just a little bit say, everybody is good? I'm going to believe that just 20%, 10%, 10%, everybody's good.
Absolutely. You say amen on that. I mean,
10%, everybody's good. That 10%, though, will outshine the other 90. If we could find any good in a person, it will obliterate whatever. It's sort of like dealing with a sick person or dealing with a kid. When a child screams, 5-year-old screaming, for no reason. Well, there's always a reason, but no social reason. This is a place where your mouth's supposed to be shut. You screaming, This kid, you're not gonna abuse. You shouldn't abuse the kid for screaming. You try to deal with the kid. It's the patience of a parent. Your infant is crying. Why? Because they want milk or they need to be burped. You don't yell at the kid. You don't yell at it. Like if you feed your kid with a bottle and the kid cries because I guess they have gas or need to be burped. You don't yell at the kid. Yo, stop yelling. You know the kid needs something. So if you could treat difficult people like this, and this is the people part of it, that difficult people who show out, belligerent people with hate on their heart, these are sick people. And if you could deal with the sickness of the person, see, most of us get caught up in that first attitude right here. What you call me? What you say? How you come? You know, because they said it. They said, da, da, da. And you're like, what? But if they could say, da, 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 like notice the patience of a doctor. You know, a doctor's got sick people coming in. Sometimes people be screaming, I don't want it. I don't need it. And the doctor got to chill and be like, yo, listen, you're going to need this. Now, look, it's up to you. And the doctor got to be patient. And the doctor got, even the nurses, even if they got to hold you down, they're trying to do it with some professionalism, trying to strap you down in this thing and get you going. But the thing is that the doctor still sees the good in you, even though you're sick and belligerent for the doctor. It's a discipline where I could see the immaturity in you as you're disrespecting me or as coming as a threat to me or whatever it is. I see this as an immaturity. Now I can leave the situation. I can try to deal with it right there. Yes, ma'am.
Education. And I want us to stay here forever, especially since Dr. Cliff just showed up. He's our doctor.
Oh.
I want to make sure.
Your mic is going.
Oh,
I can't hear you.
Oscar. KRS-One, KRS-1.com. I want us all to be able to avail ourselves to this wonderful, magnificent teaching that you are giving, because I'm just indulging in you. But I want to make sure that everybody knows to go to KRS-One.com so that we can continue this, because I believe that in order to achieve peace in this world, in this country, teachers like you and Marianne are who we all need to respect ourselves and respect, like, stop and take that look again. I never heard respect broken down for me like you just did tonight. And I just want to thank you so much for that. And before we segue, because I'm supposed to be leading, but I'm just enjoying you, I would love if Dr. Cliff would kind of address, because he may have a question, what you were just saying right there as a doctor, an analogy.
How's your time, Chris?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm really good. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. I don't want you to leave. I got one thing I want to say before you leave. That's okay. But Dr. Cliff, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Oh, it's so wonderful. KRS, I'm sitting there vibing off of everything that you're saying, the quantum laws of physics, the observed and the observer. Absolutely. It is truly what we collapse this world down to in terms of how we look at things. And no, I'm laying back just enjoying this. So I'm just sorry I got to this whole show so late. We had guests come in from California, but I did not want to miss this. So it's an honor to be here, everyone. It's wonderful to see the smiling faces.
Let me just throw in for KRS edification that Dr. Cliff Morris is a national lifestyle physician, has his own lifestyle clinic, not worldwide, but nationwide, I'm sure. And he's really an expert. And so I just want to let you know that that's who you're talking to right now.
No doubt. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we're all here for one mission, and that is this whole issue of peace. What it is going to do for all of us. I've been on the front lines, and I can tell you that it is definitely having an impact on. I've seen so many patients coming in my office this week, the last several weeks, with just hearts racing. And I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that it has everything to do with what's going on in our entire world. And so, what can I do as a doctor, as a physician, to try and ameliorate the situation and do the best I can for my patients? KRS-One, you mentioned, how well can you stay kind of on point? How well can you stay? I mean, if I come in to the office and I come into a person's room and I'm as chaotic as the situation is, versus me being kind of calm in my own peace, being able to hopefully try to instill some peace in that patient or, in the person I'm dealing with. I mean, that is my mission, that is objective. And I find that when I'm able to really hold steady in that, that's when I can kind of, it's like if you have a flame, then there's no darkness, when you walk in the room. And so when I think of what Marianne Williamson is bringing to this whole table is that flame. That's the flame that this dark world needs. And, I'm looking forward to seeing all that she has to bring and doing all that I can. I think if we don't do something at this point, it really is quite irresponsible, honestly. And so what small things we can possibly do to bring some level of peace into this world. And if I can do it through my doctor's office, if I can do it, in my own personal life, and if I can do it by putting her into the White House, then that's what I'm here to do.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cliff.
Well,
and if ever remember, Marianne2024.com/donate. Take it back, Chris.
hey, I need to make a song like that, right? You just talked up a chorus right there. No, I mean, look, that part, and Dr. the physician was so correct. If you imagine you come into a physician and the physician's stressed out, Like, think about that. There's a movie called The Watchmen. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was like a quasi superhero movie, but it's called The Watchmen. And in The Watchmen, they have a scene where this guy is totally depressed, ready to end it all, and he's just totally done, okay? And he goes to a psychiatrist, and he's laying there, and he's telling the psychiatrist everything. He's like, I just want to end it. I just want to end it. Help me. Tell me something that's going to help me. And the psychiatrist says, I got it. I got it. Up the block is a show with a famous comedian. There's a show that's going to happen up the block. If you see this comedian, he's sure to pick your spirits up. It's a famous comedian called Giovanni. Famous comedian, Giovanni. And then the patient there turns to the psychiatrist and says, but doctor, I am Giovanni. and it's a hopeless situation right there, because the very thing that the doctor said, he said, look, go see this comedian. He's going to lift you up. The guy says, I am that comedian. That's my show. I'm him. So there's no one for me. There's nobody. There's nothing. So this is the thing. It's like, I applaud you right now, because there's something to be said about excellence in work as well, and excellence in your work, which we didn't discuss, which I think has a lot to do with peace as well. That knowing the excellence of your work. There's a certain peace that I get having accomplished a job well done. If you know there was and not always a challenge, but a job that needs to get done, and you do it and it's done. Even down to, just like washing dishes even. There's a pilot, there's a sink, is crazy, okay? Yesterday's meal in the sink. And you say, look, I'm just going to tackle this. Okay, it's going to take an hour, but I'm going to get this through. Hour goes by, your kitchen's looking great. You hit that dim light, and you're like, yeah, this is what it is. There's a sense of peace that comes over you with accomplishment. And not many people are feeling accomplished, which is interrupting their sense of contentment and peace. But accomplishment comes through excellence in work. Like, you're not going to accomplish anything doing it halfway. That excellence in work, wanting to be the best at what you do, wanting to seek perfection at what you do, whether you achieve it or not, the reaching for it is a state of excellence. And there's something to be said about accomplishment that brings peace. Some people look at that accomplishment in terms of money. They say, with a lot of money, I'll have peace. And we see that just, I don't know, every generation got to learn the same lesson over and over and over again. Rich folk are not really at peace. Now, there are some, of course, but like I said, they were already happy with themselves when they didn't have no money. So now they have some money. They're like, well, look, it's the same old me again. But a lot of people that I see, especially in the music industry, those that you might see on award shows and come up with these videos and stuff like that, they're crying themselves to sleep at night. Their lives are terrible. And in the sense that it wasn't what they planned for themselves. I mean, after all these years, okay, I just saw the other day, I don't want to bring this up into the conversation, but as an example, I just saw in the news last night, Sean Puffy Combs, accused of rape. Now, Puffy, now, if you know Puffy, something stupid's going on, okay? That can't be the charge, okay? That can't be the charge. Something's going on. Something's happening. Internal conflict. I'm going to get back at you. Something's happening. Or you did behind the scenes, you was this animal behind the scenes. All these years, this is what it really was. We don't know. But the thing is that how can a person like that find peace? Here you are in this scandal. Scandal doesn't bring peace either. And even though you have big scandals on TV and stuff, no, you got them little project scandals too, little neighborhood scandals. So much so, you have those internet scandals, online scandals where kids are actually taking their lives based on what somebody said online, or some argument, or some character assassination online, and suddenly you feel you're taking your life now because of what was said online. This is where I think spirituality means a lot, because if you got someplace else to go other than this material world, if this is all you got, then yeah, maybe taking your life might be because this is it. This is all you got. And if you're hopeless here, there's no place else to go. But spirituality gives you a place to go. Yeah, jump in.
Not clear.
Come in.
We have another video. We talk about spirituality. That's the thing that Marianne is bringing, that a lot of people don't say millions of lives. And we have
video where she's talking at the Parliament of World Religions that I think is a wonderful example of what she's bringing to us as a leader that nobody else has ever thought. Maybe Martin Luther King, but he didn't run for president. But like Oscar and I often talk about her, and she's at the level of a Gandhi and a Martin Luther
Say it again one more time.
Let me see if I can decipher what I think she may be saying. We have a video. It's a short video we want to play. It's and she said she'd like for you to see it before you leave. We're actually scheduled till 11 o'clock. We're coming up on that. So maybe, and I had the last thing I want to. Well, first we want to thank you immensely, KRS, for coming out with us, spending this time with us. Your genius, your spirituality, who you are, who your being is just awesome. And I feel your being in my heart. And I think I felt that when we first met. So I just wanted to express that. So we're going to play the video. And the other thing I just want to ask, you KRS, we haven't talked directly. I've been talking with Joey, your assistant, and also Simone, who is your wife. And we haven't talked directly, but I want to make sure you know who we are. So Step in America is this group of people here. We're part of that effort. We've got it's about 100-some people we have on Facebook, and we have another group online on a website called stepinamerica.com. And those people we can consider radical experts for Marianne. I love to say that.
Nice.
And, so I think what I'm looking for, and I think we're all looking for, is maybe we don't want to lose you, brother. We don't want to lose you, and you may have some thoughts about next steps for you as you see you can fit in with us or the campaign. We're not directly affiliated with the campaign. However, we are 100% supportive of Marianne. We're in communication with Marianne and her assistant, Wendy, who you have met. But if you can just think about that and maybe some last words from you would be great after this video, if that makes sense for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Thank you. What an extraordinary opportunity to have a world parliament of religions, to have people representing religions from all over the world throughout our great tapestry of history here in order to not only support each other, but to support the common mission, that common mission being to live the lives that we are all called to, at the core of the universality of the themes that we all share. But I think also we have the opportunity, being here together, to do the work of religion within ourselves. And one of the great religious principles is to purify your own heart and atone for your own mistakes. So as lovely as it is that at this year's Parliament of World Religions, women's voices are given the power and the privilege that we have at this great gathering, as women, let us just point out, not with anger or with rancor, that the history of religion has not been so good to women. And to be honest, in many of the great institutionalized religions that are represented even here at this parliament, they're not doing so good even today. So let's take a moment to atone in our hearts to be honest and be real. Because religion, when it refuses to be honest and refuses to be real, allows itself merely to be co-opted by the very forces we are here to protect human beings from. And that is why many of the female voices rising today in religious fervor, forming a new vortex of priestesshood, are finding ourselves at sometimes working within religious institutions, at other times not welcomed in our true femaleness and practicing our priestesshood elsewhere. Every woman here who is a healer is a priestess. Every woman here who is a teacher or an educator is a priestess. Every woman here who feels in her heart that she was sent by divine mission, the same small voice for God that not only leads the great religious figures to perform their divine mission, but which Mahatma Gandhi said was the leader of the Indian independence movement. No matter whether it's political or religious or educational or business or science or politics, whatever, we are here, and this is the true religious calling, to answer to that small, still voice within and lay it down wherever we are. And so the last thing that would serve a world parliament of religions, and the last thing that would serve the women of the world, is for any of us to be too self-congratulatory at this time. Every woman needs to understand that living a meaningful life is not a popularity contest. Every religion, every religious leader, every woman needs to understand if what you're saying is always getting applause, you're probably not yet doing the right stuff. Because if we are to truly stand for the reclamation of the heart of humanity, we must remember that we live today on a planet that is not organized according to principles that reclaim the heart of humanity. World civilization today is predicated on principles that break the heart of humanity. World civilization today is predicated on principles that foster separation and not unity, that foster greed over humanitarianism, and that foster devolution and destruction and decay of the earth and the living things upon it more than the rebirth of the possibilities divinely inspired in all of us, by which we might become a human race at peace with each other, with our God, and with our planet. So when we talk about nonviolent resistance, don't just concentrate on the nonviolent part, also concentrate on the resistance parts.
Which economic system has proven to be better for countries around the world? Socialism or capitalism?
Let us remember the women on the planet today who are raped, who are tortured, whose children are killed, whose husbands are killed, whose brothers are killed, who they themselves are killed, and sometimes, yes, in the name of religion. Let us not forget that. And let us not forget that to speak in real solidarity with such women, I ask myself, for instance, as an American woman, What if every American woman had laid down on the highways across America and said, no, you will not invade Iraq. No, you will not do that to the women of Iraq. No, you will not do that to their children. No, you will not bomb their homes. I also know that to have called for that at the time would have gotten no real reaction. But we, you, I, this is our job. Let us create our societies in whatever area we are. If you're an educator, if you're a healer, if you're a religious leader, if you're whatever you do, let us prepare the ground, fertilize the soil, prepare the listening, so that as women do find their voices and men find their voices, we must remember that passionate, free-thinking women have never been deeply appreciated by the great religions of the world, because passionate, free-thinking women raise passionate, free-thinking children, and passionate, free-thinking children grow up to be passionate, free-thinking adults, and passionate, free-thinking adults are very difficult to manipulate and almost impossible to control. Let us remember whether it is within religious institution or any other, when a woman truly speaks from the depth of her heart, she might not be deeply appreciated by the men in the room. She might not be deeply appreciated by other women in the room. But if even one man says, I support her and I stand for her, and if even one woman says, I support her and I stand with her, what that's called is a miracle. What that's called is a revolution. What that is called is a true divine goddess, because the divine goddess is not just beautiful, she's fierce. And when you mess with her babies, and you mess with her earth, she's had enough of that. And we're here on her behalf. That stuff, you know what to do. Go do it. Thank you very, very, very much.
That was amazing. Chris, what are your thoughts?
That was electrifying. Wow. That was it. That's the whole speech. That's it. That everything was said right there. And she even echoed some of what we actually said here tonight. That's it. No, that was an amazing speech. That was very electrifying. And imagine we're watching it out of context here on the chat. The people who were there, I know they felt the spirit. You could feel it here. So imagine being in the room, while she lays it down. Now that was brilliant. That was it. What's there to say? That hallelujah. Wow. Well, look, let me take this last moment and say thank you to all of you, because I'd like to be part of this kind of forum. If we have it again, I'm definitely available. And you guys are always welcome to attend our temple, the Temple of Hip Hop. We're at 55 Ludlow Street at Newark, New Jersey, Brick City. And we're over there. We're trying to lift that community up. Something that Marianne just said. She just said it. She said, wherever you are, try to create the groundwork for this community. Try to create the groundwork, even for what we're saying, create the groundwork for peace, create the groundwork for justice, create the groundwork for better education and higher consciousness, create the from wherever you are. And so here we are in the hip hop corridor of the world, trying to do what we know we're supposed to be doing. And that culminates to our Temple of Hip Hop. there as well. I thank you guys as well for making this possible. Keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep talking. Let's do this. And you charge your battery because I want to hear you clearer.
It's my phone. I'm supposed to be on my laptop, but
KRS-One.com. Connect with more of this wonderful, deep teaching. I love what you said, that you want to continue with us. I got you now.
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
And I'll be knocking on your door. I've been over there already, you know.
Come on now.
I'll be over.
Come on over. We got room for all of you. Beds and chairs. Come on.
That means I'm
It was such an honor, and I'll bring the oxtails.
yes.
All right.
I don't eat oxtails. And you know what? As a matter of fact, I had to take B12 vitamins. And it's not really how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to eat the meat to get the B12, especially women. The magnesium, the iron, the B12, all of this. And it's just another knowledge, another education. Plus, as you get older, your body changes. And the things you couldn't eat or didn't eat in a younger age, you find yourself eating in an older age. And it's a whole different thing. This eating thing that I've been really dealing with, but if you bring the oxtails, I'll eat them with you.
Okay. Thank you very much. We will be knocking on your door.
Come on now, I'm right here. The door is open. You ain't even got to knock. Just come on in.
Awesome. I'll be there.
Thank you,
everybody.
Thank you so much.
Words? Any last words?
Peace.
Okay. Thank you so much.
2024.com/donate. Chris, we're going to be doing another one. It's going to be the long haul one in January. And it usually goes noon to 9. And we're going to have a lot more content. We have a lot more enrichment for people to get to know Marianne better. And so we definitely want to have you involved in whatever capacity you want. You're part of the family now. You done stepped in here. So we need your voice. We need
When
your
is the next one then? When is the next one? I didn't hear you.
We were planning for January.
Okay.
You passed
The holidays, all this craziness, and it starts the year off right.
Count me in. Count me in.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. I'm the closer.
Good night, y'all.
Hit the buttons.
I'm just a stickler for ending us on time. That's the job.
The red button.
Here we go.
Good night, everyone. Good night.